Spinning reels, 1,000 different brands. How do you know the one you're about to buy is any good? I'm going to take you through the criteria you need to use to evaluate any reel to not get ripped off. If you're thinking about buying a new spin reel, then you need to consider each of these items before you make the purchase to keep from being ripped off. I'll use these exact criteria as I do my review of the CS8 reel, so you can do the same thing on any reel you decide you want to buy. I'm out here on the beach and I'm going to put this through the torture test of casting. To me, if it won't cast farther, I may as well just throw it away. Keep one of my other reels. So here's where the CS8 ended up. Let me show you where the other reel ended up. All the way back here. Let's start with why this reel gave me longer casting distance. If you look at the spool, you'll see that it's got the long cast spool design. So instead of being flat, it's canted. So the line will go up on that cant and not catch on the flat spot that most spools have. The other reason I think that this casts farther is check out that wind. It's totally level from the top to the bottom. This reel doesn't come with shims and things like that you would have to insert under the spool to get that nice level wind. And with that level wind, you don't have any of the grabs that might happen, and I think that added to the casting distance as well. And the spool is also aluminum. Now that's important because if it was graphite, it can crack. Aluminum's not going to crack. And I noticed when I was spooling it up the other day, it has the feature of having rubber inserts going all the way around the reel that allow the braid to grip. If you've ever put braid on a plain aluminum or a plain graphite reel and had the entire chunk of line spin, that's because there's nothing for the braid to grab on. This reel solves that problem by putting those rubber inserts in there, and so once your line's on, it's not going to spin. And that means that when you're reeling in a fish, you're going to be reeling the fish in and not spinning the line on the spool. The second advantage of this particular reel is it's got 10 bearings, 9 and 1 instant anti-reverse bearing. And so that's going to make it run very, very smoothly and make it pleasant and easy to work with as you're reeling in a lure or working a fish. The other characteristic is the EVA handle. This is a special material that's designed to be more comfortable than hard rubber or plastic. And it's got a nice grip here that you can see that's a little bit wider, and it's well machined to be able to spin easily on the handle of the reel. Let's talk about the gear ratio. This thing has a 6:2 gear ratio, which is a fast gear ratio. And you want a fast one if you need to get a lure back quickly, like when you're really skittering it across the top or moving it quickly to get a reaction strike, or when you got a big wind loop in and you need to take out the slack because a fish just hit your bait, or when the fish charges your boat, keep that fish under control. This reel will do that for you. Now when I'm reeling this reel, I feel absolutely no wobble at all. The rotor is perfectly aligned inside the reel. Also, it's got that instant anti-reverse where you're not going to get the kickback that may cause you to jerk a line and lose a fish. So let's talk about the frame of this reel. It's a magnesium frame with an aluminum spool and aluminum bail. Most reels are either aluminum or graphite. Aluminum frames are stronger and more durable than graphite, but graphite is lighter and more resistant to corrosion. Well, what they've done here is they've created this frame out of magnesium, which combines the best of both worlds. It makes for a lightweight, corrosion-resistant frame that replaces the good characteristics of both those other types. It's light, it's strong. How can you go wrong? And finally, just like all good reels, it has a carbon fiber drag system. So that's going to be infinitely adjustable, unlike some of the earlier drag systems that you may be familiar with. But pretty much all good reels come with that feature. The one thing that I don't like about this reel is the drag itself at the top when you take it all the way off feels a little bit light and plasticky, and I think that's out of their intense desire to make this reel as light as possible. But that's not going to be a big deal in terms of making this reel easier to use. So I'm giving this reel a thumbs up. If you're looking for an inexpensive good reel, you check out this one. And every time you spend more than $50 on their gear, they donate a kid's fishing rod to one of their charities. Do you have experience with Cadence and their equipment? If so, throw it in the comments below, because I'm certainly interested in learning more about this gear and this company. Thank you.